Well, this gentleman I left needs no introduction to probably 500 kids that play basketball in Richmond.
I'd say at least.
At least.
Yeah.
That's John Callebs, who is retiring from coaching this winter and teaching in general after this school year.
Correct.
John, almost 45 years at New Richmond. That's got to be an emotional thing for you to finally step down.
Well, you know, it's not a sad time. I mean, it's kind of it's kind of been such a blessing. I'll end my career this year appreciating all the good things that have happened to me. And so I look at it as just a step in life, you know, and it's time for a younger person to come in here and you know, keep up with all this technology and things. And but I've been blessed to be here. I'll be saddened, I think, more next fall when I'm not here. I'll say, what do I do now? I know I'm going to say that, but I'll find something to do. But just to be something different for me, it's just a step in life.
Well, 44 years of teaching. You retired once before and came back, and you've taught teaching math here at the high school.
Mm-hmm.
How's education changed in your 44 years?
It's changed a lot. You know, it's used to you'd say something and that's what it is. No one questioned you. The parents backed you up and everything. Now you really have to do a better job of communicating with kids. And I mean, kids are kids. Kids aren't any different. It's just the parameters they're in. It's different, it seems like. But you know, I was blessed to start a little school like Moscow. We had about 105 kids in the whole building, and parents were like 2 blocks down the street, and it was just a great thing that I started there. So I started elementary, then went to middle school, and then I've been to high school, and you know, I just feel that, you know, I think the changes have helped me lengthen my career. Yeah. And that gives you a little boost, kick in the butt when you do change. You know?
The middle school, when you started, was that down on Market Street?
Yes.
And then you went to the new middle school?
Correct. Yeah.
And what year did you come to the high school teaching?
I came to high school in '93, and what happened, I had 4 years at Moscow Elementary, and then 20 years at the middle school, and I was about 6 years away from retiring. I was going to retire at 51, and I go, well, you know, I probably need another job at 51. I thought, well, if you go to high school, that'll look better on a resume. And so when I got up here, I was a low man on the totem pole, so you need the meanest kids, the honors kids. I mean, they were kids. I liked them and everything, but tough schedule. I didn't have room. I'm pushing my stuff around in a grocery cart. No room, no resources or nothing. And I go home after that first couple of days, and I go to Carolyn, and I said, I think I made a 6-year mistake going to high school. I don't know if I can handle this or not. And but now I really like the high school kid a lot. This is my 20th year at high school, so I had 4, 20, 20, and then I retired in '99 because they give you a bunch of money to hang it up after 30 years. And so I said, hey, you're gonna give me some money to retire? I'm gonna retire. And then I'm going, what do I do now? So I applied at Felicity, and Felicity had this math opening. And I said, well, then you had to sit out 90 days, so I could start like in September. And Mr. Mallow was here then. He goes, you're going to come back teaching? I said, heck yeah, I'm only 51. I have something to do. I'm going to Felicity. And he goes, why don't you just come back here? I said, oh, that'd be great. I mean, I'm coming right back here after retiring in June. I come back here in September. That's awesome.
So you've been an important cog in our math department here in New Richmond. Math is changing too. You're getting integrated math is coming on where they're combining geometry, algebra.
Yeah, it's all coming on, and it's a good time for me to go out too because it's moving to me next year. And then I know there's like our 2 teachers that are doing Math 9 now, doing a heck of a lot of work, and you know, I think it's probably better for a young person to come in here and deal with all the technology. I like the technology, and I've kept up pretty good with it, but it's probably good for our kids to have some new blood, you know, in that math. And, but hey, I've taught 4th grade to 12th graders.
Yeah. Well, there's 446 other reasons people are going to miss you, and that's the number of wins you had in middle school basketball.
Well, at Moscow, they go. When I was hired, I was offered at Moscow, Monroe, or Pierce Elementary, and they said, now the only thing I said, well, Pierce looks pretty good, and Monroe's not too bad. And Moscow, that's a little old place. They said, well, the only thing, if you take Moscow, you're going to have to coach basketball. I say, that's what I want. I'll take that job right there, because I've always wanted to coach. And And they said, besides that, we're going to pay you $200. I said, you're going to pay me $200 to coach? I thought I'd have to pay you. I said, hey, man, I'm taking that job. That'd be awesome. And I get up there, and we had a 7th grade team, and there's only 7 boys in the 7th grade. So I taught phys ed and math, and I said, well, so we're going to try for a team. And I think about 5 of them said, yeah, we're going to play. I said, no, all 7 of you. I need all 7 of you to play. And this one kid, he goes, I don't think I want to play. I said, remember, I have you in gym class. If you don't play, you're going to be running every single day. He said, okay, I'll play. So we had 7 kids in that 7th grade. Then I had a 4th, 5th, and 6th grade team where you had a bunch of kids because you had 3 grades. And it was just a great experience for me to do that there. And it worked out really well.
So how many years did you coach the middle school 8th grade boys?
I coached, well, I had 7th grade about 3 or 4 years, and then I had 8th grade the other 16 years. And you know, I really, you talk about those wins, and I hadn't even kept up with the wins. And we had a principal down there, Chris Klein, and do you remember
I know
Klein?
Chris very well.
And so he goes, I guess he got some paper from the state or something. Now, I hadn't paid attention about wins. And he goes, well, John, how many wins do you have? And I said, man, I don't know. I said, I got my scorebook, you know, we figured it out. He said, yeah. So I go back, and I had like 160 wins or something. And so before I know it, about 2 or 3 months go by, and I get this big certificate that says, hey, congratulations on 150 wins. I go, oh, yeah. So that's pretty cool. So I started keeping them then. Otherwise, I wouldn't know. And so then I got a 200 award, and then I got a 300 award, and last year I got a 400 award. Well, about 2 or 3 years ago, I got a 400 award. And, but, I mean, really, Enos, I didn't win a single game. I've just been blessed to have the kids to win a lot of games. And you know New Richmond talent. I mean, we're above average, I think. And you get the good kids out there, and you give them some guidelines, and they'll come through all the time.
Any particular kids stand out, your memories that whether just by his effort or way he improved or?
Well, you know, there's a lot of them. I'm afraid to start naming them because I know I'll miss somebody I'll think of later. But I don't know. You remember Kevin Woodruff? Mm-hmm. Great kid. You know, Todd Benzinger?
Yeah. Todd
Benzinger, he went there and made a winning point in the championship game. He wore glasses, and it was down at our gym, championship. We both had 1 loss, played Northeastern. And we had 1 loss. We run a little out of bounds play. He goes off pick, goes in there, boom, boom, bang, horn goes off. And everybody from the stands went in there and piled on Benzinger. He wore his glasses. And he came up, and glasses all bent. And, you know, he's got a curly hair all over the place. I'll never forget that play. And, you know, Doug Ast. I mean, you know,
well, there's 2 Hall of Famers in Richmond.
I mean, almost every Hall of Fame down there, except the ones Warren Reed had, I had, and in basketball, and I had a lot of them in track and cross country and football too. But in basketball, I had almost all of them, and they're all great players. And there's, you know, Doug Ast is the quickest player I've ever had. And, you had Mike Long. I don't know if you remember Mike Long.
I remember Mike. Yes.
I mean, I could just start with Todd Stamper. You don't know. I don't know if you remember Todd. His daughter, I have her this year. And
yeah.
Just a lot of great players. I hate to start mentioning them because they're all, I consider them all good friends. Really.
Yeah, well, it's hard to believe. Sometimes you look at them and they have kids already in high school.
Well, you know, Brian Benzinger.
Yeah.
You know, Brian Benzinger played for me. And Brian could not score a point, and I've said this before, and be the most valuable player on the floor.
Well,
and then if I needed 10, Brian would get 10 points.
Well, he shows how ahead he is. He's now a baseball coach, and he's coached basketball too.
He took my job at the middle school this year. Yeah.
Yes.
And you know what? I don't know. It's probably a good thing, but that's probably a step up for those guys down there. They had me for a long time, and then Brian Benzinger comes in. It's a step up, I think, because I have a lot of faith in him. He's a great kid.
You could have retired from teaching and probably stayed on as a coach.
I think so, but you know, I like teaching. I mean, teaching. You know, I got my first period team and my second bell team. I mean, teaching is just coaching.
Yes.
You just, the only thing is you're coaching finding exponents or something. And you know, I go, man, I don't know about the fifth bell team. You know, it's really I got 7 teams, and but it's coaching. You just do it a little different. You're not out there hands on and stuff like, you know. But I like teaching. I meet a lot of good kids teaching. I really appreciate the fact that New Richmond, they're adding me here.
Well, you won't be completely retired from coaching. You've been approved as a volunteer assistant basketball coach at all levels. Mm-hmm. And I don't think I've ever seen that done here at the school.
I haven't either. And I'm kind of interested. What's good about that? You know, I stepped aside, and but I didn't want to really shut the door. I wanted to be involved, and Coach from Monaco asked me, he said, hey, you want to help out a little bit? And I said, yeah, man, I'd love to. And I've had all his kids, and I know sometimes as coaching, you're really involved in the game, and you take the kid out, and I'm sitting up here in the stands, and that kid needs something said to him, and you as a coach don't have time to say anything. I could be there on the bench. I say, man, the next time pick that right foot up instead of the left foot. I mean, I can do those kind of things, and I think I can help him, but and it frees me up a little bit because I don't have to be there every single day. And but Brian's been really nice to me, asking me to do that, and I'm happy to do it.
Well, you of course coached him down in middle school.
Oh yeah, he was good. He tells a story that I almost kicked him off the team the very first day. Now, I don't know if that's true or not.
No,
but he said, hey.
First time you saw his drop step, that would have you'd have forgotten all about it.
He was awful good, and he's still a good player. But he said something that I heard him tell. He said, hey, I came in there, I was real cocky and everything. And Callebs told me, he said, we'll be fine without you. You come in here with that attitude. And I don't remember saying that, but I know he's a great player, and I'm glad I didn't kick him off that first day because he was awful good.
Well, he had to have a real good team this year. Have you seen him in practice?
I have seen him. I think we depend a lot on Ernst and big boys and stuff a little bit. And they've got a lot of good guards and a lot of good young players. Our freshman team, every one of those kids in high school played in the finals of the middle school championship. Every one of them. And last year's team did too. They won it, and then the freshman team won it, and the other three all made the finals. So there's some pretty good talent there, but we're limited. You know basketball probably more than I do, but there's a lot of good kids there. They're good families, and we just want to do. I'm just kind of hanging around, but I'd like for them to be as successful as we can get them to be.
Well, you played a big role in their success now for probably the next 3 years. Your kids will still be here playing, and I know there's so many in the community. Do you ever count the number of players you've coached? You average, 12 a season?
Well, yeah, but I coached football for 14 years and cross country about 6 or 7, and track for 7 or 8, and but you don't really coach the sport. You coach kids, and same as people say, what do you teach at high school? And I teach students. I teach kids there, students there, and they go, no, that's not what I mean. But no, I never did count it. But I can go down to the Speedway and get me a drink or something. It's like a reunion sometimes. And somebody comes up and they're 35 years old and they say, hey, Mr. Callebs, how you doing? I'm going,
who are you?
I recognize them. I'm going, well, let's see, what year did you graduate? But every once in a while, the name will pop. Hey, Joey, good to see you. And I'm embarrassed sometimes. I can't think of the names. But you figure, like teaching this year, I got 160 students, and you go 160 kids for 40 years. I didn't have 160 all this year, but let's say 120 for 40 years. I mean, you got a lot of kids in the classroom, and you run into them.
You got to figure you probably 5,000.
I'd say, but I'm just one guy. I mean, this story goes on all throughout America, and there's other people. You could have been in the spot I'm in and done the same thing. I mean, I think the Lord just put me here for a reason, and
He kept you here for the same reason.
I appreciate it too. I really do. I've been blessed, and I also, as all coaches know, you have to have an understanding family, and a lot of times I regret. Like I'll be out coaching other kids, parents' kids, and my little girls grew up on me. And then all of a sudden I go, hey, my little girls are grown. And I've been out coaching these 8th grade kids all these years. And I regret that. But that's why I just want to be a part-time coach. I can make sure I get my grandkids going and spend some time with them.
Well, I know everyone wants to know what are you going to do after
this year?
Yeah, after this year.
Well, I mean, it depends. I mean, if Brian will have me here, I'll probably might just come around, hang around basketball here, but I might be stocking shelves up Kroger's, or I'll do something. I like to be busy. I'm not going to just sit around. And I like a little house on the prairie, but I could probably don't want to OD on it either.
Well, let's close by your favorite sign. You always take number one. Every picture you ever take it.
Let me tell you something here. I invented this sign in 1968 when I was a student at Berea College. You can believe this if you want to. And Berea College beat Pikeville College in like overtime, last second shot. And us guys at Berea, I mean, Berea's a great college, but we beat Pikeville in a big game. And I'm going, #1, baby, we're #1 now. And somebody took a picture of that, and they put it in the paper, and then, believe the story if you want to. And then about 2 weeks later, I see Southern Cal and Notre Dame out there, hey, we're #1, we're #1. So I'm taking credit for that #1 sign.
Well, you're #1 in our hearts, John, and
Thank you very much.
thanks for all your service to the school and the community, and we'll be looking forward to seeing you in the bench at the basketball.
I'll be there, I don't know what I'll be doing, but I'll do the best I can.
Okay.